Well, welcome back to the Inky Studio. We are going to be doing some tiny little Aceo type tiny little drawings today. And it's because there is such request for such tiny little things that are about that big. So, if you want me to see me draw something that big, let's do it. Okay, so since I have basically sold out of my Aceo, which in effect is a drawing, it's a drawing that big. Okay. Sorry about my odd camera setup this morning, but can't get close enough. That's what is the craze at the moment, and I've been doing a lot of these and they've been selling out. So I'm going to do a new batch, and this is going to be basically the black card edition, which they're going to be on my original business card from my days of owning a music school. So it will at least have some kind of authenticity with it. You will have my name there at the bottom, written with some kind of Celtic Gothic style. And just for a little bit of perspective on these little ACEOs, they are called, like trading cards. That is my usual size. So you can see that is an A2 and that is an ACEO. So there you go. You can put it, I don't know how many, you could probably do about 100 in one drawing. So that is my usual size and my usual enjoyment, but we'll be doing this for today. So I hope you will bear with me on these tiny little drawings, and I will just kind of make them up as I go along, whatever comes into my head. I don't quite know even where I'm going to store them all. Maybe I could store them all on the back of that. Maybe that. So we're going to get in and we're going to do some fun, I hope. Okay. Let's start off with some. Maybe I could try and find a thinner nib than my usual. I wonder if I've got a really thin nib, to be honest. I don't know what kind of size you're used to drawing. Or is an ACEO actually a normal size for some people? I find it insanely tiny, to be very honest. I find it ridiculously small. What kind of... I don't think I've even got a small enough nib. What's that little red one? Oh, it looks quite chunky. But maybe that's the whole enjoyment of it. Maybe it's kind of drawing these fine and delicate little lines. I'm not sure. I definitely am not partial to this size, that's for sure, because they are kind of, by the time you've got to enjoy the drawing, you've got no space left. If you know what I mean. But these will be, I don't know, we'll call them the black edition because of the black card on the back, and I'll draw on that side. So you've got some, obviously the phone numbers don't work, the emails don't work. It was from a time when I had a music shop, when I was, when things were going great in my life, and I had my animation studio and life was just amazing. I'd always dreamt of also having a music shop, and not in selling instruments so much, but in teaching children. And in China, when I was there at the moment, it was like the children were just, every kid I ever met could play something, mostly piano and violin. And they were just incredible. You'd see these little 4-year-old kids going and it was really inspiring. And I set up a kind of children's music training center. And we obviously did sell some instruments as well to kind of go along with it. It was all part of the beauty, really. And I've absolutely loved it. And those business cards came from the company at the time was called Sandman, because my animation studio was called Sandman, and then it became, was it Mr. Sandman? Mr. Sandman's Music School, there you go at the top. And it was like kind of me playing a big kind of mandolin type instrument there. And it was an absolute dream. I had it for only for a couple of years until I got sick and things went wrong. But it was beautiful. And the funny part is that obviously I didn't really think of, I just had the title of the company, and Sandman came from the first animated movie that I made myself, and it was called Sandman. So my first animation studio, I couldn't think of a name, and I thought Sandman. That was I quite like that one. And that's a little kind of piggy face. And so that is what happened. We called the animation studio Sandman. From my first movie days. And so when we did the kind of side company, which was a very small shop, but in fact, I'll draw a version of the other side. And so it was called Sandman Music. And I thought, well, just to be slightly different, I put Mr. Sandman Music. So all the children would turn up and all the children would call me Mr. Sandman. Mr. Sandman, Mr. Sandman. I was so cute. I was absolutely adorable little kids. Very, very, very beautiful days. Back in the days when life was just fun, Back in the days when it seemed like that everybody was kind and everybody was friendly, and the world was a beautiful place and such. Whereas now everybody's angry at everybody else for something. I had somebody the other night very angry at me for something that had nothing to do with me. But such is life, I guess. So it was called Mr. Sandman Music, and I was, to the children, I was Mr. Sandman. So, so it was a very, 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 very delightful time. And it was also very inspiring because you had all these kids that would play guitar, or they would play violin or music, or guitar, violin, piano, and they would just fly. I mean, they just soaked it up like a sponge. They were absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, when you see little children that are just saying, well, this is a G7, put your finger here, and they would just go, yes, sir. And then you go, right, now play the whole thing. They go, ding, 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 ding. You go, wow, they just did it for love, They just, whereas I kind of guess as we kind of get older, we ask too many questions, We get so sucked up. There you go, a little music man. Can you see that? You know, now you kind of, if you were learning guitar or piano, or say, why is it G7? Why? Can I just use a G? You know, you've got all these, no, it's G7. But G7's like fingers like that. I can't do that. Kids are not like that. Kids are like, yes, sir. G7, put you on, I'll practice that. You know, I was always inspired by what the kids could do. What are we going to do now? Let's get on. Let's do some birds because they were really popular. Yeah, you know, like even with the drawing, I used to teach storyboard and character design. I used to teach it all at one point, and you know, and once you get past the age of like kind of 12, you know, you want to do it your way. And I used to feel like the storyboard people would kind of come in and say, yeah, I finished it, and you're great. Why did you do that? You know, well, because I thought this, and that, but didn't I just tell you that we're doing this and that? And yeah, I know, but I thought, oh, did you? Okay, yeah, well, that's wrong. So yeah, I really enjoyed those music days. I was always obsessed with mandolins and bouzouki and mandolas and mandocellos and that whole mandolin family. I'm very passionate about, very, very, very love. And I've got quite a ridiculously silly collection of old mandolins and things like that probably nobody else would want, you know. I've picked them up in junk shops and eBay too. Yeah. And they're just not played in this modern fast time, you know. But it's the same with, you know, with music and with art. It's like, you know, once you get to a point of kind of understanding, then you can start to let go and you can start to really have fun. But, you know, everybody's too eager to just jump in, you know. I see people online that are teaching and they've never even really worked anywhere, you know. Okay. How can you teach and you've never? Okay. And but that was also true in China. We used to go to the colleges to pick up all the universities to pick up all the young whippersnappers to come and work in my studio, and you know the kids would come in with such dreadful habits. And I remember going to meet. I was doing a talk at one of the schools, one of the universities. I had to do a talk on animation and the studio and what. And I remember meeting a lot of these teachers, and they would, you know, at the time everybody smoked, you know, and they would all kind of come in with their kind of cigars or their thing, and they'd be like, hey, yeah, right. And you go, wow, yeah, man, right. Wow, it's good to meet these people. And you kind of go, well, so what studio did you work in? And he went, none. None? You've never worked in production of any sort? No. How can you be a teacher? You know, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, it's different in this time, you know. I mean, you could learn for 5 minutes and be a teacher in this modern times. That's a lovely little bird, by the way. There you go. You know, you can kind of jump in and you know, you read a book about how to, you know, build an airplane, so you're an airplane builder, you know. But ghosts are very popular, so I'm going to do a couple of ghosts. Okay, ghosts don't really have hair, so what are you doing? So yeah, yeah, but you know, in this kind of modern day, the internet is full of, you know, you get yeah, I get really tired of it. It's like, how do I, like, like my videos? I would like my videos to have more people watch them. Not for any other reason that I just want to meet more people. But on the internet, if you kind of put in like how to what, you will have 10,000 people that want to teach you it for a price. Nobody wants to say, hey man, that green button down there, if you push that, it spreads it out to, oh really? Thanks very much, mate. Nobody wants to do that anymore. Everybody's like some kind of entrepreneur teaching grand master, it's like, wow, really. So yeah, it does get a little bit kind of frustrating sometimes. But I guess it in a good way, the internet has really opened the world to a lot of things, good and bad. There's a cool little ghost. The ghosts were really quite popular as well. And these are, I'm selling these like £5 or something, like four something pound. So if you want to get yourself a nice little Kieron original about that big, and you can frame them. I've framed a couple. I mean, if you buy a little frame like that and you put it inside, it actually looks really fabulous. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint these ones. That's the only thing. Should I not? What do you think? The one nice thing about my Aceos is I'm trying to retain my style while I'm doing it, which is very difficult because you don't have much space to make the ink move. So, the bigger you have paper, the bigger you have a whoosh, whereas with that, you say, so it is quite difficult to control the kind of the style, if you were, in these kind of Aceo type things. But they are hugely popular. I've seen people with like big folders, and they're flicking through all these folders of amazing artwork. kind of vampire ghost there. So I'll do a few of these just to show you what I'm doing. I have been, if you want anything special, do let me know. I can always kind of make something. What have we not drawn? A lot of fruit has been very popular. I don't know why. So I'm not really a fruit drawing person, but I could draw a bunch of bananas. I've seen lots of people selling apples and bananas, and cherries and strawberries have been very, very popular. It's quite incredible, really. But in this modern time, you're going to kind of draw what people want. And if people want bananas, you got to draw bananas. Now it's just beginning to settle in the weather here in England. It has been a dreadful time and has been very wet. So I'm very happy, as is Mr. Miro. He's very happy to see that the rain has gone away. Well, for today anyway. No, that's not how you spell banana. B-A-N-A-N-A. Terrible. When I'm drawing, my mind just goes. My mouth is talking, but my brain is my right brain is kind of going on about it, and my sometimes my kind of writing brain just switches off. It's dreadful. All right, let's see if I can draw a dragon of some sort. But I would love to know if any of you are interested in the Aceo thing. I do find, though, by the time you've actually kind of drawn it and painted it, and you're almost at the same time spent as with a big drawing. I don't really see that much difference in them. What was I doing? Dragon. But, art is collected in many different formats. As I've been learning, I really have been learning a lot about people collect, I've seen people online who have collected paintings of strawberries. I actually did a strawberry, and it's got quite a few bids already. A strawberry, and I was thinking, well, who would want a strawberry? But apparently a lot of people do want strawberries. And I guess that's the whole point of art. It's like everybody has their own love. Everybody has their own passion, and nobody is right or wrong. It's just, whatever people like. Some people like oil painting, some people like watercolors, some people like, there's a cute little dragon. Lovely. Lovely little dragon. Very, very sweet. Did you see that? So I'll do a few more, as I know these are very difficult probably to watch, but I don't know. I mean, do you love it? If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know. I'm just doing this because I just like to film my day. I just like to share with you what I am working on, and I have been kicking myself that I need to get back onto books as well. I need to get the shop back up. I did a lovely painting of the whale that I posted up. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. I really felt I kind of hit a peak with that. It was the style of the painting also. The style of the painting was kind of as rough as the drawing style. It had a beautiful balance to it. So it has been posted up all over social media, but I would like my regulars you to give me some feedback on it. It was the first kind of test of. I was working on this idea of trying to get some kind of gallery together, which seemed to work out financial suicide. But I thought that with some of the ideas that I was working on, they might work out as just prints. So if you do have a look and tell me your thoughts, I'd be very grateful. You know, after all, you are the buyers in many cases. So your words of wisdom are golden, really. It's a painting of a whale, and it's kind of like painted around oranges and blues and kind of turquoise. And it for me it worked. For me it was like you've hit a peak. You've hit a peak in your style, in your vision, and I was extremely pleased with it. So give me a shout. Tell me what you think. But as always, I'm always. I do love getting your comments. Your comments mean more to me than they probably do to you. You know, and your comments come into me. It's like the outside world information. You know, Kieron, how are you looking from the outside? Where is he? So, the whale, go and have a look. I'll also put it up onto the posts maybe of YouTube so that people can see it there. But it's on Instagram and everywhere else. So you can kind of get a good kind of look at it. And sometimes, you know, as an artist, you do get very sucked into your own vision, your own little world of what you're doing, what you should be doing, and the style and the direction that you're going in. I usually kind of feed off people around me. My sister's quite good at bouncing real life at me, and I've got a couple of friends that I just kind of say, I've done this, what do you think? And they'll go, and I go, okay, don't say any words. You know what I mean? Yeah, art is quite one of those. It's kind of like in the same way of like cooking. Here, try my cake. And you go, right, okay, too much salt. All right. That's kind of like it is when you're doing your art, because you kind of say to people, what do you think of it? And you can usually tell from their strained expression that it's not your best. One of the beauties of being an artist, I'm afraid. It really is. It's kind of like I love it. So it's again, but like with the Aceos, I have no idea if they're what people want. Am I going in the right direction? You know? But, you know, if people don't buy them, that will tell me, I guess. But I thought I loved the idea of it being on a personal business card for me. Obviously it's an old one, but you know, maybe I can add a modern one to the buyers, you know. You can kind of like see what my kind of business cards are now. Do I have one? Somewhere. I'm really enjoying the birds as well. I should do a whole book on birds with teeth, shouldn't I? Right, what have I got? Three more, and then you can get on with your day. I did do a thank you card for someone. Is it dry? I did a thank you card for somebody this morning. I thought you might enjoy it. You see that? It's like Frankenstein with his little dog. Quite like that. Right. Rabbits. Again, another rather. Cats also. I do like kind of drawing animals a little bit like crazy, a little bit, you know. Is that the mad side of me coming through? And books. I've got so many books to finish. In fact, I still got the Norman book to finish. I kind of went into a very, very terrible deep hole there with life and health, and all the nasty bits of life came to bite me on the bum, and it was quite horrible, and I kind of fell into a bit of a hole. And in most cases that kind of like inspires me, as in the whole reason for Norman and the Worry Lips series was from me getting very ill over a couple of year period, and dying in hospital and coming back and being surrounded by ghosts for about a year. So that was my life, and not the type of thing you can really sit down and talk with people about. Hey, guess what? So I made a kind of comical book about it called Worry Lips, which, you know, the big orange book. Yeah, they're around somewhere. Oh, there you go. There's some of the books. Look, a quick break. Look, these are some of the books. You have the blue one, which is the sketchbook. You have the orange book, which is like Norman's thought. Norman is the little orange man on the front cover, the yellow man on the front cover. And then you've got some of these big books, which is the novel. Nice big thick books there. They are also going on to eBay. All of these will be going on to eBay. They are the signed editions. And I love the signed editions for books. Oh, these are quite fun as well. I did these like playing with the black. That's a pregnant dinosaur. So they will all be going up as well. They'll all be filling up eBay with these ink drawings, and the more that I'm doing these, the more I'm really thinking that maybe I just keep them an ink drawing. What do you think? Please give me your thoughts. You know, if I did an ink drawing, would you like it? Thoughts on a postcard too. They used to say that all the time on TV shows. All the you know, answers on a postcard too. Answers on a postcard too. Mr. Miro at. Oh, and my mugs. Don't forget the Etsy shop. Don't forget the Etsy shop. In fact, I've just had a whole batch of stickers made. And so I'm really also very excited about it. And the stickers are mostly going to be probably just kind of like in the packages when people buy artwork and stuff like that, you know. Like, I love the idea. I kind of get very, very childish. I know I get very, very kind of emotionally excited by little things like stickers, postcards. So yes, I am in the process of waiting for them all to come back. And the idea is that I will have a kind of Kieron and Mr. Miro sticker to be able to give to everybody. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. I really am. You can, I just saw this out of the corner of my eye. It's one that I did with I was just scribbling, and I scribbled it with a brush pen, but the brush pens aren't very good for the ink, for the paint, sorry. And you put paint on the brush pen and it all kind of falls all over the place, bleeds and melts. And so there you go. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye and I thought, oh, that'd be a nice little redraw. Give him a little bit more crazy fur type of feeling. Yeah. So some stickers on the way. But that's just part of me. That's I love getting stickers and badges, and there was badges made a long time ago. For all those people that missed out, there's one. There were extremely rare little things, and that's what the stickers will be. Can you see them? We did about 100 of those, and they were all sent out to everybody as gifts to all my followers and fans and such like. And they were all sent out all over the world. They went to America, they went to Canada, Sweden, Holland. They went everywhere. But there was only like 100 of them. And the whole idea of that was that, you know, that they would become part of the kind of the real fans, you know. And I thought, wouldn't it be beautiful when they open up a gallery and everybody that has one of those little badges gets a free ticket, you know, or something like that, you know. Like when I'm really, really hugely famous and these people just turn up, and the people, you know, sometimes these kind of big fancy galleries, you pay like £50 to come in, and you could just wave your little badge, say, and you know, something cool like that. Right, last one for today. Last one for today should be, let's do a little monster. We haven't done a little monster for a while. Let's get in there and do some weird little teeth. And yeah, you know, I have lots of these kind of little silly dreamy type things, you know, going on in my head all the time. But I also believe that one day it will happen. So, you know, one day there will be a huge exhibition of my work. Hopefully not my Aceos, but there might be a corner of the room where they go, you know, one wall with like 1,000 of them on there. And people can come from all over the world and come and visit my gallery. In the same way that, you know, I have the same dream for other artists. You know, I see an artist come by, oh, they've got a big exhibition in Belgium. Oh, I want to go. You know, and I really would love that. I mean, I've probably got thousands of drawings upstairs now that would look much better on a big gorgeous wall, and then people could just come and visit anytime they want. How beautiful would that be? Because I do find that, like, sometimes, you know, like the Ronald Searle stuff, I've never seen his original drawings, and I don't really remember ever seeing a show or an exhibition. I do find that quite sad, really. But, you know, what can I say? A little monster. And I'm going to write hungry. Hungry monster. So there you go. There's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of Aceo ones going up. And that will be the side, the art side, and that will be the reverse. That will be the back of it. So if that's interesting for you, if it's exciting for you, if you're curious about it and want to know more, if you just want to tell me anything about Aceos or your artwork that you're doing or where you're from or any comments about anything at all, I would love to hear from you. As always, me and Mr. Mira are here in the south of England, and we're going to go for a lovely walk in the park. And I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all later on. Bye-bye.